Welcome to MapleWoodian.com podcast. We have on the phone Mark Slade. How are you doing, Mark?
Great. How are you, Joe?
Good. Mark, of course, is our favorite real estate agent at Keller Williams and Slade Homes. You have so many great outlets to see the work you do, and the open houses, of course, we always link to, and the real estate work and selling and buying that has made you, in our view, the top realtor in town. And of course, your face and your name is everywhere, as it should be. And how long have you been doing real estate in Maplewood area?
8.5 years at this point.
It's been some real ups and downs, but more ups, I think. Our first question is always...
I've been up since I got into the business. That's a good thing.
There we go. Always, whenever we talk to you, the question is always, what is the market like for sellers and buyers in Maplewood?
The seller's market right now is still very, very strong. Buyers are still having, for the most part, some difficulties getting what they want done for the prices they want. They're, significantly overpaying. I should say overpaying, but significantly and consistently paying more than asking across the board. As a matter of fact, in the most recent statistics that I pulled for the year to date, which means properties listed as of January 1, you're not going to believe this number, 71% of the 79 properties that have since closed sold for over asking.
So that's 79%.
71%.
71%.
9 properties that have sold that were listed after January 1 and closed before, up until June 22nd, yesterday.
Right.
71% of those sold for above asking. Another 10% sold at asking. Only 19% sold for less than asking. It's kind of a crazy figure.
So, well over nearly all the homes are selling above asking in this year.
They have so far. Now, that is primarily listed in the first quarter and ended up closing in the second quarter. I will tell you that the second quarter of the year it's much softer for two reasons. One, a lot of the first quarter buyers that continue to lose out have significantly lost their patience, and they're not as eager anymore. They're frustrated. There's a lot more inventory that's come on, and a lot of the inventory that comes on in the second quarter is, shall we say, influenced by some of the phenomenal numbers that showed up. And so as a result of that, they're listing for higher than perhaps they should. The only good news for sellers is that, while that would seem kind of, depressing, is that the net inventory is still very low. So there are 55 homes on the market. 8 of them have accepted offers. So there's a net of 47 homes, which is, a third more than what it would have been 3 months ago, but still below what it should be at this point in time. So that still means if you got a good house priced properly, that you should sell for asking and above.
And you and I always talk about the mistakes people make when they're buying or selling. I know you've talked about in the past. You mentioned it priced right, that sometimes people don't price the home well, and then I think you've said if it stays on the market too long, that can work against you in terms of people wondering why it stayed on the market too long. But if you're pricing it too much, that's going to make it stay on the market. But tell me about sort of the pricing aspect these days.
The pricing aspect, it's just a question of making sure that when people price homes, that they're not always doing it based on what their neighbor sold their home for. Because sometimes you just get a very unusual situation. In first quarter listings, we commonly see anywhere from 5 to 8 offers on those great homes that offer everything today's buyers want. In second quarter, it's between 2 and 3 offers on average. So if you notice, it's a significant drop-off in the total number of people bidding on the same house, which can lead to very different results, as you can imagine. So seeing someone go $100,000 over ask, which is customary in the first quarter, is not as common in the second.
And you said people who miss out, who bid and lose the bid, they sometimes get discouraged and go elsewhere, or are they seeking to stay in Maplewood, looking around?
They don't even know where to go.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. They're frustrated. Just like sellers, they're trying to downsize, don't know where to go.
But in selling their Maplewood house, there's still enough activity and interest to keep the town going.
Yeah, there's still plenty of interest, but it's still a challenge.
And what is the biggest challenge now as the summer comes up?
Well, it's just a question of, people, like I said, if they're expecting and trying to hold out for for a seller holding out for a better offer, it may not happen. The buyers that are out there now, like I said, they don't have the same kind of temperament that buyers that came out in the first quarter do. They first quarter, they're charging ahead. They come out with money in their pocket from their bonuses, from their raises. And now that's done. That's old news. So now people are a bit more, shall we say, realistic with what a home should really sell for. So, it's just a question of being prepared to understand what the market valuation is for a home, and stuff that, you might have, a seller that could have gotten away with, let's say, an unfinished bathroom won't be able to get away with it as much now. They'll be much more pressed to try to show why a property is what it is and why it's worth what it is, or the asking price. That all being said, I mean, the average price of the closed homes for the first almost 6 full months of the year was $681,000, which is almost 15% up from the same time period last year.
That's in 1 year. It's gone up 15% average.
Now, the reason it's up so high is that last year we had 5 homes that were $1 million that had closed for $1 million or more at this time frame. This year we're up to 11. So 11 homes that were listed this year I've already and closed. It's amazing to me, but 11 homes that were listed and closed already for over $1 million, and there are still several out there pending. So that is dramatically pulling up the average price in the marketplace.
And of course,
and I know that because when I look at the average price for the amount of homes on the market today that are truly active is $492,000. The average price of the homes under contract that are due to close is $593. Now, that doesn't mean that's what people are paying for them. We don't know yet until they close what they'll actually be paying for them. So if in fact we still see, even if it's only 3% above asking as opposed to the 5% above asking we've recorded so far, that's still going to push the number into the sixes. But as you can see, the first 6 months in terms of what was listed and sold and closed, pretty amazing, phenomenal results.
And of course, we're talking to Mark Slade at Keller Williams Midtown Direct. One of your websites I know, goodhomesforgoodpeople.com. And of course, you can be found there and at the Keller Williams site. And of course, people see you driving around in your antique truck with the Mark Slade logo and insignia on the side, and your ads around town. What would you say to people who are living here now, who may not want to sell for a few years? Are we going to hit a bubble anytime soon, and things will start to drop? What is the outlook for Maplewood's values going ahead 5, 6 years, even longer?
The national economy for real estate is projecting to do what we call a shift, which would mean a softening of the marketplace overall. Now, that all being said, when we had the last, we'll call it real estate recession, the economy dropped real estate economy dropped as much as 35 to 45% in some places.
Right.
We dropped 55%. Our economy, our economics of real estate are really predicated on what's happening in the New York area. And while New York is also hearing rumblings of softening a little bit, the bottom line is this: they pay 3 to 4 times per square foot there than they will here. And we've had so much great press up until recently with the train situation that people recognize this area as still a phenomenal designation to have a commute that's technically purported to be under 45 minutes, and provide themselves with a lifestyle that blends, we'll call it suburban-urban blend of downtown and in great neighborhoods and very good schools. So we may see a softening nationally. We may eventually see a little bit of a softening or a tightening of the marketplace here, meaning it goes more into balance between sellers and buyers, meaning you won't expect to see 71% of the homes selling for over asking, but it's almost an unhealthy market in that sense when you look at the statistics. The fact that we have 94 homes under contract and only a net inventory of 47 means we have, what I call a hypermarket. More than twice as many homes under contract as that are available to be purchased by a potential buyer. So they see, 150 signs out there, but 100 of those they can't buy. Those homes are sold.
And so you're out there, obviously, every day, every Sunday at the open houses, and you're getting the calls. There's still more demand than supply, it sounds like.
That is correct.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that the New Jersey Transit, as we've been reporting, others have been reporting, of course, there's going to be diverting the New York-bound trains to Hoboken starting July 10th through September 1st. A lot of that is being done to do improvements at Penn Station for Amtrak. But I think you told me a while ago, that's causing a little bit of a concern, although it's going to be a temporary problem. But what's sort of the impact of that over the summer in terms of getting homes for sale?
Well, I've had people show up, say, I love this home, I'd love to place an offer on it, I'd love to move here, but not until you fix the trains.
Right.
That was, of course, a month and a half, 2 months ago when we were at the height of all the negativity and, news publications.
Right, and there were derailments and problems, and that's been kind of put aside.
People screaming and,
Yeah.
Clusters of people on top of each other at the train station waiting for a train. So, I understand why people would react that way, as much as I wish they wouldn't have had to be exposed to that, but I really wish the problems wouldn't have been there.
Right.
It's a shame that, the Port Authority and our government officials and New Jersey Transit allowed this to manifest into such a problem.
But the thought is also now they're going to fix it, hopefully by the fall, things will be back to normal, and a lot of the construction around town will be gone, too. It'll be sort of cleared away.
Well, obviously we all expect that things are going to be improved and that in the long run we'll all be happier and better. I mean, ultimately, with the ridership that goes in and Amtrak's ownership of the track, we would be better off with having added another tunnel, which was something that was up for review and vote a few years back.
Right.
Voted away down. And that ultimately is what I think the local economy needs in order to satisfy and improve the overall mass transit systems into New York. That all being said, once we get past all these problems, and like you said, if you're a Maplewoodian, looking for a parking spot to be a bit challenging, things should start to be a lot better, and there'll be a little bit more of a harmonious spirit that will, I think, positively impact everything regarding real estate.
And how about the big Avalon Bay project? That's 235 apartments. Does that affect the housing? Some have said people move into those apartments planning to eventually buy a house, so they will get into town. What are you seeing, or is that really not? Is that a different animal than the home sales?
That's really.
In other words, does that affect the home sales either way down the line?
The only thing what it could do is that if Maplewoodians that are looking to downsize, they have more options now as to where they could potentially rent for a year or two to figure out where they want to go. So that would be potentially a very positive outcome. Okay. Other than that, I don't see, and that would mean we'd have more inventory that eventually could come on the market. And if supply increases, demand even stays the way it is, the market will get a little bit more into a traditional balanced scenario.
And the other thing, of course, is the reassessment we just had, and the tax bills on that are going to hit the third quarter. Is that having any effect on sellers or buyers as people look to the town?
When they finally get their finalized taxes and all that, yes. There'll be no doubt that a tax reval ultimately does create a little bit of tax flight, as I call it, where they unfortunately are in a position where now they see taxes are going up, and if they're now an empty nester, they're going to just say, this is it. This is the breaking point, the straw that breaks the camel's back.
But for the buyer, we've always had pretty high taxes. Would that bump really make it difficult, or no?
From the buyer's perspective, there'll be enough houses going up. There'll be some taxes that'll be going down. It won't make much of a difference. The only place that make differences in neighborhoods that were so highly sought after. So if you look at all the $1 million homes that have started to close in the past few years, on the Hickories, the Roosevelts, the Ridgewoods, the Curtises, we could then see those people's taxes, going up as a generality. And, we may see a slowdown in some of those types of purchases. Because right now, a lot of those homes, for what they're selling for, the prices should equate to higher taxes than what's being purported.
Okay.
If that comes in, if they see the taxes going up, then, that'll slow things. Every $1,000 in taxes is $11,000 in house purchase price.
That's good to know. Okay, again, we've been talking to Mark Slade from Keller Williams. And anything else we should know about sort of as the market goes into the summer, that things you're seeing, trends up or down, good or bad?
No, I think it's still a very healthy market. The pundits in real estate are telling us that fall should be still a very good market, a very strong market for real estate. Our leading economic indicators of where things are. Days on market continue to drop for the houses that sold. The days on market for under contract is still 25. Days on market for the active is only 34 on average, which is amazingly low. So all of the indications are that unless there's a deluge of listings that come on the market, that this will still be a very sought-after marketplace. And I have to say that on a local area between NJ.com and New Jersey Monthly and a lot of the news articles that I see about real estate, even Wall Street Journal, Maplewood and South Orange, but Maplewood especially, continue to show up in the top 10 towns in New Jersey and even in the area for people to consider moving to. If we keep getting that kind of press, then, it's only going to continue to drive up demand and therefore drive up prices.
Excellent. Again, we're talking to Mark Slade from Keller Williams Midtown Direct. You can see him at goodhomesforgoodpeople.com. What are you on Twitter and Facebook?
All the time.
Yeah. What are the handles that people should know?
Well, Twitter is Maplewood Homey, Homey, and Facebook, you would find me either as mark.s.slade. That's my personal account. You could find me as Realtor for the Bedroom Communities. You can find me under Soma Real Estate. You can find me under Maplewood Open Houses. I have about 11 business and community pages on Facebook, so I should be readily findable.
And what's the best email to reach out to you?
sladehomes@gmail.com.
sladehomes@gmail.com. And
that's correct.
Can we give your phone number out, or you'd rather go to email?
Fine that people want to text me, 917-797-5059.
Excellent. Mark, thank you as always, and we'll keep in touch, and hopefully the market will keep going on the positive end.
Keep chugging along.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you, Joe. Have a great day.
You too.